The Broskiedoodles in the house today with you and Ski. What's good, bro?
Hey, man. Not much, bro. Just here enjoying a nice Sunday afternoon. What's going on with you, man?
Chilling, bro. I've been needing to take some shit out of my chest.
What do you have, like phlegm in your chest?
I have somebody took a shit in my esophagus. And I need to take this shit out of my chest, literally, bro. Don't judge me.
They're poisoning the well, man. They're poisoning.
Well, you're actually talking about some shit that I really want to talk about, which has to do with poisoning the wells. But the shit that I gotta get out of my chest, metaphorically, is, bro, we have an issue with water in the world. We're polluting it all, and we're destroying the water sources. And
Yeah.
I'm not in this tree hugger type of mood. That's not the type of people I am. I like steaks, god damn it. All right? I like American grown steaks.
No water, there's no beef. No water, no beef, bro.
If you want to take a look at pictures of really good meats, steaks, and everything that has to do with the thickness, follow my boy on Instagram, Thick Steaks.
I appreciate the plug, man. Yeah. At Thick Steaks everywhere you want.
Stiefskis will show you what it is. And I'm trying to rush to the topic because we've been trying to do the topics for 3 episodes, but we don't do them. We just don't do the topics. We start talking about some other shit like thick steaks, and then I cannot go forward. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, I like the steaks, thick, right? But I also like the environment, you motherfuckers. And we're fucking destroying the water, dude. We're destroying the water. On some recent news in Venezuela, a disaster happened. It's fucking normal. They first said it was a boat, like a tanker, that had a break and a bunch of oil spilled. That was what they said, right? But just like in Beirut, the explosion happened. It's never what the government says at the beginning, right? It's never. Mm-hmm. It's never. It's always. So what really happened is that the refinery, one of the biggest, most important refineries in Venezuela, broke and spilling all this oil because they don't do maintenance on it, because they don't hire good engineers for it, because they don't give a fuck, because they're just there stealing everything, right? So I don't want to get political in this shit, but I will, goddammit. Where the fuck are the handles? No, I'm just kidding. No, but in Venezuela you have this happening, like in Chernobyl, it happened in Russia, and they're polluting the water. You have World War II, more than 7,000 ships were sunk and they had oil, and that oil now is about to be released into the ocean because after 70-80 years the things that are containing this oil or fuel is already corroded to the point where like it's now leaking, right? So there's a shitload amount of that. Is a ticking time bomb, right? You have the spills that are already happening from modern things, right? And I'm just thinking, like, I mean, maybe our lifetime will be good, but we're fucking up the only thing that is the main thing that's necessary to keep life.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, that's true, actually. I didn't think about that, but, like, you know, all the ships that got sunk, it's not like the fuel, like, exploded. It's still in the tankers. And it's still, you know, you got all of these divers, you know, going to the shipwrecks, but there's some that are even further down that we don't even see. Damn. Yeah, no, that's a good point, man. What else is gonna happen? Did they have like a follow up or
a what? They have a what?
A follow up? Did they have like a follow up to?
Well, I mean, this is what's happening. Like, nobody wants to be responsible for that, right? Nobody wants to take the blame to fix it, right? Like when it happens today, you obligate like Epson or whatever company, Shell, like, oh, you clean up that mess, right? And at the end of the day, they don't even really clean it up correctly because you can only clean about 20% on the surface, but the rest goes to the bottom. There's no way to clean it up. So, dude, it's horrible, man. But with the World War II ones, there's no one to blame. You cannot go to Germany and be like, hey, you know. I mean, I guess you could, but that'd be fucked.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it.
But in any case, bro, like the thing is, they showed how in certain countries, like in Norway, I didn't even know this, but all across Norway, there's so many sunk ships because they were trying to enter through there, but the fucking Norwegian kept their ground, bro. But what ended up happening is a lot of the fresh water that they have comes in this part where a bunch of these tankers are. And dude, there's one part where there's like a tanker that's already has a leak, right? And you go through it at the top of the water, you see this rainbowish thing go like click, 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 and you see the scenery of the beautiful place that you're in, and you're like, oh my god, this is being destroyed. They're one of the few that are actually taking like movement about it, and they've already extracted in some different shipwrecks a lot of the fuel. But imagine how hard it is, like, to extract it without. It's called a controlled extraction, without you just destroying everything. Because one of the ways they do it is they go to the walls of where the fuel tanks are, and they sort of make it so that they make like a circle around it, a cut, so that they can put like some sort of valve, and then through some pumps you take it out. The problem is the walls are very corroded, so it's coming to the point where it's not even possible to do a controlled thing like that. And also a lot of it is already being mixed with water, so it creates this thick paste that you cannot pump, you know. So it becomes like, and this is thousands and thousands and thousands of meters under the sea.
Yeah,
nobody knows about this shit. It's insane how I watched it and I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucked.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it's everything news related seems to be super regionalized. So like, I didn't even hear about this, but maybe you heard about this being more closer in proximity to Norway, you know, and especially, who's that poster child now that's like, who's like all about fixing the world? She's like screaming at
Greta,
all the concerts.
Greta Thunberg.
There it is, Greta. Like, I mean, Greta probably knows all about that shit, you know.
I don't think she does.
No, she's from like Sweden.
Yeah,
like,
but they're more like into the global warming, which is a situation too to keep in mind. But I think there's so many problems. This is my thing. Like, global warming, there's truth behind it, and we should be worried. But we have other problems that are like right next door, like the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I understand if in 300 years we're not okay, the world's gonna end because of the weather. Okay, we gotta take care of that. But we got a problem that's 50 years ahead. You know what I mean? Like, this is an actual issue, bro. You look at rivers, bro. All rivers, or most of them, the good ones at least, lead to the sea, because that's what you want. You want like a way for you to export things and move around and trade. So a lot of the main cities go to the rivers, and there's rivers in India, in Southeast Asia, bro, where textile companies just throw all of their chemical waste down these rivers, and not only they're fucking up everyone in those rivers, bro. There's people that grow rice without water. They clean this is toxic water, and then that goes into the sea as well. So I start thinking about this, and I go in this rabbit hole where it's like, all right, so then we're all gonna die because this is all fucked. You know?
Yeah. We don't know, you know, when we're so singly focused on like a product or a task. Sometimes, you know, especially when it comes to money, we're not really worried about the repercussions. We'll just say somebody else will figure that out. And I mean, I wish that more people saw fixing the planet as a business opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind being charged a premium for sustainable chicken, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these organic type of situations. So why would I Why would I not say, okay, like, yeah, let me have the option of, what we need to do is streamline a little bit faster solar, wind, and then get people in the idea of being a little bit more conscious to the point where we can do fundraising, like global fundraising, how we did for Australia and the wildfires. I don't know to what extreme, but like that was one of the things that I most recently donated to, right? Like when Australia was on fire, I think in the beginning of this year or the end of last year. Yeah, like I donated because I just felt some type of way. I felt really bad for the wildlife there, and if people can start to feel bad, I guess we should be, the media being so powerful, why don't we just push those types of things, right? Sensationalize that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and for people that are like, oh, Steve Ski's always telling his Steve Irwin stories about animals and all this bullshit, but he when push comes to shove, he ain't about, wildfires. Yeah. He's there donating. I mean, this guy is not the Caribbean animal hugger for no, fucking reason. Like, this guy is out there with the activism, with the supportingism, and with the donativism. So all you motherfuckers out there saying he ain't real about that shit, he ain't about the animal life, shut the fuck up.
For real. No, that's what I love animals, man. And if they made like a big deal, like, it's even myself, I'm guilty of not being aware of it, but that's because it's not as mainstream as other topics. If we've gone almost 35 episodes already now at this point without talking about the environment. You
think that if fucking animals was something that wasn't frowned upon, it might have been something that you would have dwelled in? Maybe not now that you're committed to your partner, but in your Dios cuida los niños days.
No. Animals are our friends, and they provide emotional support. They provide food for us. I'm not a vegan. I'm sorry. I need my Grand Western steaks.
Thick steaks.
I believe that we have a good food chain going and everything like that. I'm not against that. But there are ways to trim the fat. I mean, that's the name of the game everywhere, right? Like, rich people stay rich because they don't spend money on what they don't need to spend money. They'll spend more money on their luxuries, but we spend too much money on food, and there's so much food thrown away every year. I can get behind trying to minimize on that, if there was a way to, I don't know, like, repurpose food in some way. And especially when it comes to the environment, man. I mean, like, we want to think, let's talk about space. Let's get to the next planet. Let's do this. Let's do that. And that's super cool. Don't get me wrong. It's super cool. But like to do what? To get there and fuck it up some more? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. No, like let's dial it back. Let's get our shit together real good here down on the EARTH of A. And
yeah, I mean, Elon Musk, right, gotta come in here and be like, hey, we got to the moon, that's cool. Or Mars, where is he going?
Well, he wants Mars.
But yeah, right? They got to space, right? Like, we need to find water in Mars, but we also need to find water in Earth, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
No, we need to cure the water, right?
Yeah, that's it. Just, I mean, so much money being spent on trying to go up there, and I'm not against it at all. I just wish that there was another I mean, there is, I guess, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, all of these. There are people here who are more worried about the well-being of Earth, but I think that people are more inclined to listen to the unknown, of Earth and space, and not Earth, but of space and other planets, rather than saying, hey, look, like, we're developing this to clean up the ocean. It's like reverse, like it fixes itself. I'm genetically modifying plankton to eat up all like the bad stuff. They're doing it in the Keys. They're doing it in the Keys with the mosquitoes. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'll give you the rough thing of it's kind of controversial.
Sell it to me. Sell it to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it to you. So, there's been a lab that has been able to genetically modify mosquitoes. The idea behind that, I think, is because there's a lot of mosquitoes that are kind of like messing up the ecosystem.
In the Keys, right?
A lot of the in the Florida Keys, yeah, generally. So basically, the idea is that there are 750 million genetically modified insects in general are said to be released in Florida that has been approved against the will of the population, the local population, but essentially it's made to reduce local populations of the mosquitoes. I guess there's just too many of them in the Florida Keys, and that's understandable because it's a little bit hotter than the Everglades, and there's a lot of rich life down there, so that mosquitoes thrive.
So now, are these gonna be kamikaze mosquitoes?
I think that what it is it basically it breeds with other mosquitoes. Like it's like the mosquito that wants to get with this other mosquito. It doesn't produce a male mosquito. I think that's what it is, from what I remember. It's basically like, and also you gotta understand the mosquitoes carry a lot of viruses too, right? They have the Zika virus and all the Nile virus. So when you have these mosquitoes that do not produce a male mosquito, or they maybe, I don't know, they spread like STD to the other mosquitoes.
Okay, so they only come out with girl mosquitoes, and eventually you only have women mosquitoes, and then they become lesbian and they die, and no new mosquitoes happen.
Something to that effect. They're basically meant to reduce the population. So what it is they're trying to, and I don't know if you've ever been down to the Keys in like August or something like that, but sometimes these mosquitoes are absolutely unbearable. Like it's such a touristic spot, and it's so perfect conditions.
It seems like what you're saying is a place that I would not want to go to, and thank you for letting me know, because I will not go there. There's a bunch of mosquitoes, and I'm all for supporting the kamikaze suicidal mosquitoes or whatever, I'm not sure what gender neutral, whatever they are. I'm down for it. If they're going out there and reducing the mosquito population so that the human population can grow, I'm all for Team Human in that sense. Now, I think the scary part of this is, okay, well, this is going to fix a problem. I'm all down for it. But then can this turn into, well, let's make mosquitoes that go and attack only Venezuelans?
Yeah. Or any insert culture here, right? Or certain body mass here, right? Like they just love the fat boys and girls out there. Like
I can see Antifa like making a little mosquito like go attack only white people, and it will be easy for the mosquito to identify. It's not as hard like Venezuelan. Like all these motherfuckers look alike. Which one is a Venezuelan? Yeah. But with the white people, I guess it would be easier. So because like people think about the coronavirus, like was this genetically made? And because you're telling me you can get a mosquito and genetically make it so that this mosquito only produces women offsprings. So what happens,
Or male offsprings. It's one of the two. I guess I could look it up right now for you. But I guess the idea here is that it's meant to reduce the mosquito population, which inherently reduces the amount of transmittable diseases by mosquitoes. And
it makes it enjoyable to be there.
And it makes it exactly and just on a more enjoyable level, like you can go fishing in the mangroves and not be eaten alive, because that's like the hot spot for them. So
so you're saying that
again, playing God a little bit. No, I'm just saying like then you start to play a little God, then it gets hella controversial, and so we'll see how that plays out. But I guess we don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that we don't know the repercussions, like in the situation of these boats. Like we don't know. We're going into war with these boats, and we need the fuel to get to where we're going, knowing that we're going to lose a couple of these tanks into the ocean. And at that point in time, nobody knew that was going to be a big deal.
Yeah, they were just
But
like, oh,
now
this is
we
an
know what to
ocean
do.
that you can throw anything on it,
Exactly.
and now we're fucked.
But
You
But
think
now
that
we're
maybe
fucked,
there
yeah.
might be ways to like get a, because you were saying like a thing that actually sounded like it could be true, like a genetically modified plankton that like eats oil and like
that
shits air, you know, like
shit, yeah, pure
pure water,
O2.
pure aquafina. What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Shit. I mean, if we're playing God and making insects, like, then we should probably be thinking about, like, you know, I don't know. I'm less scared of that than I am of AI, right?
You're
Like
more scared of AI?
I'm more scared of AI than genetically modified freaking bugs.
The thing is, the other day I saw Steve. You know Steve? Is it Steve Wozniak? The other guy from Apple.
Apple? Yeah, Wozniak, yeah.
It's also Steve, right? His name is also Steve. Only the great
so.
one, right? Only the great ones. So
Only the
Steve
greats are
Ski,
Steves.
but this one Steve Wozniak from Apple. They were asked him recently about AI, and he's like, the thing is, he's like, people think we're like very close to AI because we have really good robotics, but like AI is totally different. Like AI is a computer that wakes up and says, okay, what am I gonna do today? What adventure am I gonna get involved in? And he's like, that's something only that the human can think, you know. Like, he's like, I'm very excited about robots that you can design to help people's life, like in home, like clean the dishes or fold clothes. Like, you know, we're very ahead on that, and that's happening in Japan. They're starting to make these things. But he's like, AI, like a robot to think on himself. He's like, we're far from that because we don't have anything near that. Like a thing that could really just, you can have something with a lot of calculations saved up and things to do and commands, but them thinking for them, and it kind of made sense because I was like, damn, yeah, it sounds like it's a hard thing. So he was just like team human, like he's like, what humans do, that ingenuity to like, let's create something because this is cool. That's something that only humans can do. And I was like, oh. And if he says it, I mean, he knows a little bit about things.
I agree. I mean, AI is a scary situation. Like, you got to really put like a fail safe in there, you know, to the point where it cannot turn that off, right? Like, just in case things go astray. But I really think that AI is gonna outpace us, essentially, because we as a human race can only do so many calculations per minute. You know, when a computer themselves, I was watching a simple game. It's a simple little hide and seek game of AI, and it basically, like, you can see how they were playing hide and seek. The red team had to find the blue team, right? And they put like obstacles to try to like hide. And at first, the first couple 10,000 tries, which by the way just took a couple of hours, right? 10,000 just did a couple of hours. The AI would easily find the blue team, or the blue team. But then they started to like put little things in the map where they would close off the ability for the red team to find them. But then eventually the red team found a ramp that they can use a box to jump over the wall to get into the area where the blue team was, and they found them. And then eventually the blue team was able to think, well, I'm going to bring the ramp inside this little spot and then close it off. And then the red team found a way to bounce off the map and find them, like how people do in Call of Duty, right? Like they'll just find like a little.
So you're saying that maybe it is closer than we think?
I think so. Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not downplaying Steve's, his idea.
Are you going against
idea?
The genius?
I just think that
he's really the genius behind Apple.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that there's a lot of people who really want to make this work, and
I'm with Steve Wozniak that instead of AI and robots thinking for themselves, we need robots to be really good at doing whatever we want them to do. Mm-hmm. That should be the goal. Like, I should have a robot. It should be like very soon. You'll be able to cheaply buy a robot that cleans your dishes.
Yeah.
And he was talking about something.
Another simple task.
Yeah, but he was talking about how simple, because like, yeah, you have the dishwasher, but you still have to do a lot of work for the dishwasher to give you clean dishes. You want somebody just to pick the fucking dishes and like clean them off and do it right. But he was talking about like how complicated the human motor mechanic system is, and that we take it for granted. He's like, imagine you having to program a robot to grab dishes with the carefulness to wash them but not break them.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
yeah,
how hard that is, because like you can have a thing that goes clack, 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 but the feeling of things, he's like, that's only something that you can learn to do, and that's why it's so hard to make those robots do it. But he's like, it's a lot more useful to have a robot do tasks for you than like, oh, make it think for himself. Like, I don't want it to think for himself. I don't want it either, because then that motherfucker can think of killing me. Fuck it. And that's Terminator, you know?
Yeah. And people say mean things to it, and it'll learn to be mean, right? I mean, you don't want that to be the case either. I think they actually already made a robot called Flippy. I think it's called Flippy. And it's basically going to replace the French fry cook at, like, these fast food locations. They're going to flip burgers. They're going to cook things absolutely perfectly every single time. They're going to cook, you know what I mean? Cook the fries on time every time. You know, everything's going to be, like, much, much more streamlined. And corporations like McDonald's and Burger King and all these people are going to spend, you know, they're going to spend $50,000 a robot, but they'll never have to spend that money on labor.
Yeah, but it's in that, because at the end of the day, they're going to also be competitive and pass on those costs or those savings to the customer. Like, people, you know, when they think about capitalism, people only think about when something happens that makes the product cost more, and those costs are passed on to the customer. But also, when an industry is able to do something more efficiently and cheaper, like in this case, fryers that do it all, you know, that's going to make your product cheaper to produce. And even though as a greedy man, you're going to be like, oh, I want to take those savings. If McDonald's has the same technology and they can cut costs, but instead of them keeping the profit, they're just going to send those savings to the products for the customers to save. They're like, fuck it, we might make the people buy more products now because they're cheaper. And so at the end of the day, the capitalism drives the prices down if the technology is there to make it better. So I only see that to be a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine yourself wanting to get like, imagine just a quick thought. If you have like a chain that you want to make of like corn dogs, whatever, and it's like, fuck, but it's hard to have like a managing team, all this shit. But imagine like you could just grab and buy 3 machines that make it all happen. And that's it. Like, you could have a business set up and start making money. Like, I just think it makes life easier. Like farming machines, you know? Like, don't you prefer to have a machine do it than somebody there with like a fucking clack?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's kind of what happened, right? Like, there's a lot more, and there's less room for error too. There's a trade-off, right? Like, you can make a burger 15 cents, but I mean, even if a burger's 15 cents, I'm not going to order more than, like, I don't know, you know, a whole car full of people. Where one car full of 4 people on average would spend $30 to $40, $10 a person, say, right, on average. Now, if you make that money, if you make those savings less, it's not like they're not gonna buy $50 or $60 worth of food.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is more people will go to eat there.
Oh, definitely, they would.
Like you and me, we were already going to the Taco Bell at 3 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And paying whatever they wanted to charge us.
Whatever, yeah. They could have charged me $20.
But if Taco Bell now has a little machine that replaces Juanita in the taco making chain, then they might be like, you know what? We're gonna sell the chalupas now, even cheaper. And then people that were like always like, no, fuck Taco Bell, that's an expensive, luxurious experience, can now be like, fuck, I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good way to think about it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what gets me upset, what makes me think of this is like, well, when there's so much work being replaced, you know, to a certain degree, we have to evolve as a human race and find other ways to find work or whatever. But then there's also like this whole environmental situation, right, where we're poisoning the Earth, and then you start to think, okay, well, how fast can we fix the Earth versus how fast is the population growing, and versus how fast are the jobs being replaced. So you have like this trifecta happening where you have to like consider all these moving parts, and then you wonder, well, will governments eventually, I don't know, this is just a crazy idea that popped in my head, but what if they start to like give incentives for having less, or have charge more for more kids, or more population, like, oh, you have your first kid, okay, that one's free. Oh, you have your second kid, okay, you're getting a tax. And then, oh, you have your third kid, that's a deeper tax. Right? But that's what I'm saying. Like they deal with these massive amounts of people more so than the US. So like in a way, yeah, is communism the way of an overpopulated world? The only way of an overpopulated world, you know what I mean? But then you have countries like India who are pretty high in population too, and they're not like that too. So I guess
but India is not. I don't think it's an example of a successful story either. Like so what
but they're democratic in a way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's not a but I mean, it sort of goes to your theory that when you have that many people, the only way to kind of make it work is to have it be like in a very totalitarian regime. And I mean, you could say like, I mean, I'm not certain that India is better off than China. And
no, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm against fucking anything that has to do with communism and shit. But what I'm trying to say is that maybe it helps the Chinese population to have that much control, so that all this massive amount of people can actually live right. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
maybe it works for them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could put a different spin on it. Still go social. And say, okay, well, if you have one kid, you're gonna have this much living wage, but you're gonna have a second kid, and we'll still give you an additional living wage, but it's gonna be a little bit less. And I'm still gonna give you a little bit of it, like a third kid, you're gonna have a little bit. I'll give you more money, but it'll be less than you know what I mean, less than that. So it's not gonna be like dollar for dollar, every single time you jump, right? But then, so then you start to think, okay, so if people are having less kids, and robots are thinking for themselves and taking over and doing everything, like, is the human race going to become extinct? Or are we just going to like exit and go to freaking Mars and leave?
But like, so in Spain, for example, like people want to have kids after they're 40, and they only want to have like one kid. And okay, so I understand in Spain it's a bit of an issue, which I don't see as an issue. We could maybe do with less kids and shit. Less kids parks, for that shit. More bars, you know what I mean? For grown-ups. Like, the world is for grown-ups, you know what I mean? So, yeah, fuck the kiddos. But that's only in Spain that they have an issue. And it's not even an issue. The government just wants kids to be born so they can collect more pension, because pension is a Ponzi scheme. It's a pyramid scheme where the money you give to the government for them to save, they spend it, and then they need new people to be born to take their money, and it can always keep going, right? Because people die and are born. So it's a fucking bullshit argument. So, okay, in Spain, maybe you could say there's a problem. Not that many kids are being born, which is bullshit, but whatever. But what about the rest of the world? What about Asia? What about India, which is also Asia? Latin America, they're just fucking like bunnies.
Yeah. I mean, my thing would be if they incentivize having less children, that would be a little bit, I mean, it's kind of a double-sided coin. Like the more minds you have, the more progression you can have. But at the same time, it doesn't really relate to the amount of geniuses that are born, right? If you have 1 million people born, and out of 1 million people you have 500 geniuses, if you have 3 million people born, that doesn't mean that you'll have 1,500 geniuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all relative to where you are and what your education is. So I think that generally speaking, we would be all right, if the less people we have, the more we can drill down and focus on what we can do to better the lives of who is here now. The more people globally we all have to like take care of, the less quality of life each person gets to have. just, I mean, yes, you can grow wealth, you can create new wealth, you can do all this kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, like, it's just not fast enough for you know, leveling that playing field. So I don't know. I mean, we were talking earlier about the robots, you know, kind of helping us out and doing a lot of the remedial easy tasks in our homes and our businesses. So technically you don't need that many people, I guess is where we're going with this, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck them.
I don't know. I mean, it's selfish to say because here we are, right? Like, we made it. But it's I'm not saying that you can't have kids. I'm just saying you're more incentivized to not have kids. That's all. Like, you.
I mean, I'm not one of those people that are like super activistic about it. Like, especially like women that don't want to have kids. Some of them have like this empowerment out of it, which is like, yeah, fuck kids. I was made to have kids, but I'm not gonna have them to stick it to the man, right? Like, I don't know if you know, like the stereotypical
There are some people
person that I'm talking about.
Something like that, I guess.
That they also have the type of opinions that are like, yeah, I'm not having kids because the problem with the world is that we're overpopulating and taking all of the resource from Mother Earth, and I'm making the sacrifice of not, you know. It's like, okay, I don't go that far. All I'm saying is, have kids when you know you can take care of them. I mean, this happens in the first world too, but it's a bigger problem in the third world. Like, have kids when you know that you can give them what they need in the sense of quality upbringing, education, all that, so that they're not a burden to society and actually help society be better.
Right. I mean, it's interesting what the next, I don't know, 1,000 or 500 years is going to be like. When you think about like all of the different ways people look at life, people look at the environment, people look at business, people look at space. It's just curious to me, like, where we're gonna end up, you know? Because, like, I don't know if we can have it all. It'd be nice to. I'd like to. We're probably gonna be able to achieve a lot of it, but, you know, like, as much as we want to all move forward, there's still a lot of people who like constantly want to like still take over. Like, there's like a whole like territorial thing too, you know? Like, if you told China, yeah, China, what part of the world do you want? They'll take it. Same thing with the U.S. Same thing with everybody, you know, because.
Well, China's taking land that doesn't even exist. They're making islands and then naming them Chinese property so that they can own the sea around it. So,
are you serious?
It is pretty crazy. Yeah. Look
They're
it up.
making islands?
It's facts. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
In some sea, they're doing it in certain seas so they can take power of the sea. It's crazy, bro. And if you don't believe me, search it, because we're talking about real shit here, okay? This is a Broskiedoodles. All we talk about is facts that are super verified and certifiable. Okay? It's all like super like high class, you know, priority stuff. But do you think that all these bad things that we're talking about, right? The environment being destroyed, the water, etc. Do you think that on the other side of the coin, there's hope to be had that the human race, we're going so fast with technology that we'll be able to find ways to like even solve impossible problems like the water? Like, you think we'll be able to like, oh no, now we got this thing that shoots a laser and takes all the oil out and only Kool-Aid comes out from the other side. So it's all cool. We got it. Like,
and do I think we'll ever reach that, you're saying?
Like, do you think that maybe there's a silver lining where, like, okay, maybe we're destroying a lot, but we're also becoming super smart and we'll be able to fix our own mess? Or do you think there's some shit that's just irreversible and we're fucked?
Well, I mean, I think to a certain degree, it's, you know, we're not going to be able to regenerate the land, you know, while still doing the practices that we're doing. We saw like a lot of regenerativeness. I don't know if that's a word, but the regeneration of the water quality in Venice during this pandemic. We saw a lot of good come from a very short amount of time with everybody just stopping for a second, right? And although that's not ideal for the economies, I think that knowing how impactful that is we should probably dedicate the same way we have fucking Labor Day or stupid little holidays. Like, we should just think about ways that we all do our part. Like there should be like a week every year, and you can spread it out, where businesses, I don't know, maybe have people go out into the world and do a beach cleanup or do some, you know what I mean? Like part of your job, right? Like, okay, you get a weekend, you get a week of vacation, you get a week of sick, and you get a week of environmental. You know what I'm saying? Or something to that effect where, like, if it's all global, like, at least, like, it's saying, well, and that will be a super huge tax write-off for the company, in my opinion. But you know what I mean? I just...
Are you with the Biden AOC campaign?
I don't know. Actually,
is this part of the Green New Deal? God damn it!
I know that he's pumping his thing is the environment, and you know what? To a certain degree, I agree, but I don't know the policy that well or what he's trying to implement that well to talk on it. But yeah, I mean, anything that's for the environment, I think that to a degree, I think the environment is more something that we should be focusing on. You know what I mean? Or especially, like, for instance, if we have these programs of welfare, then you're definitely gonna go do some beach cleanup, some road cleanup, you know what I'm saying? In order to earn that, you just can't.
On this topic of like water scarcity and how water is fucked in the world, and also taking into account that there's countless of companies that take advantage of this and go to certain places and take the water from the villages so that they can make really pompous and luxurious bottles of waters for the people in the first world. Given how sad that is, what is your favorite water?
The one that makes the children bleed the most. It just has a different taste to it. No.
The one that destroys more villages.
Just taste the souls. No.
Dasani, bringing down towns for 100 years.
And that's the most the most trash water, in my opinion. I don't know.
That's like for the bums. Yeah. He's like, that's trash. I mean, I'm talking about what you got. Tell me, because I know that you're more into this. You're like an Art Basel guy. You're always in Miami. You're in the important things, and so I do know that you have to keep your water game strong if you want to move in the business in any ways. So yeah, tell me a little bit about it. Don't feel that you're gonna be judged or anything, because we all know that you're Steve from the jungle, Steve from the nature, Steve for the animals. But sometimes you also gotta be in the Hollywood tips if you want to progress and be able to bring awareness. So what was the type of water game that you played?
Dude, I don't know. My water game, I really like a good cold Fiji, bro. I love a good cold Fiji. I don't know. It just tastes a little bit different. I mean, like Smart Water, Evian, they feel like empty. Dasani feels salty, but like the real thirst quencher, would be like a Fiji, in my opinion.
Fiji. What are the ones out there?
Well, you got the Aquafinas, you got the Poland Springs, the Zephyr Hills. A lot of this stuff is also regional. There's like Polar, I think, like up north or something like that. But like the global ones, like Evian, Smart Water, Fiji, Icelandic water. That's let me backtrack a little second here. Icelandic water is fire. Well, it's not literally fire. It's more like water, but it's
it's more like refreshing.
Yeah,
but
good.
Metaphorically, it's fire.
Have you had that?
You feel like you have but it's just like you feel like Norway is going into your esophagus.
Yeah, dude. Hey, for real. Icelandic water is the bottle. Have you ever seen the bottle? It's just it looks like Fiji. It's like
it's a Viking.
It's like square. Yeah, it's like Fiji, like it's square, but at the top it's like it looks like a mountain, like it comes up into like a regular cone, but it's got like little mountain bumps on it. Makes you feel like you're fucking climbing.
Damn.
The Swedish Alps or some shit. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm feeling this shit.
Yeah, I like the Icelandic water. That's some fire. And then you got the 7-Eleven, the 2 for $5 liters that I don't like. You know, so you have it
2 for $5,
or like it's like super cheap. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the like the brand of the store that you go to, the Kirkland.
Yeah, I'm super like, in that sense, like super riffraff. Like, I drink tap water here in Madrid.
I mean, hey, that shit keeps you
alive.
But
in the U.S., that's crazy. But that's for other reasons, right? Like, you cannot drink the Florida water because some shit might go wrong, I think. Right?
I mean, when you really break it down, like, you can technically drink tap water. But, yeah, I mean, you know, like, if
I'm trying to, like, what I'm trying to find out is this like an actual change that you guys over there do because, okay, the tap water is actually bad for you, or is it more like it tastes bad and then you go for Dasani and Fiji or whatever?
I think it just tastes bad because they filter the water here with chloramine, and then that's just not good for you, like, long term, you know.
So there is a health factor.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted.
Because from what I understand, Madrid water is super good.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I don't know it, but you should look into it. They say the same thing. I mean, the Miami mayor was talking about, like, how you can drink the water straight, you know what I mean? I think it was during the beginning of the pandemic. They're like, oh, you know, you guys are hoarding water, but Miami water is great. But at the end of the day, like, long term thinking, you know what I mean? Like, you could drink it and survive. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but I'm talking about, like, okay. So I might be, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that even if it's not true and it is not perfect water, like, here the norm is for everybody to drink tap water.
That might just be the country trying to
kill everybody.
Yeah, like, dumbify.
Everybody drink the water. I mean, yeah.
I mean, there's
crazy,
there's
right?
things that you can do at your level of your house. Like, you could do reverse osmosis. You could do filtration systems coming into your home.
God damn.
Yeah.
I had that in Venezuela. But, well, the thing is, in Venezuela, the problem with the water, bro, is my city, Valencia, has a lake. And in that lake is where the water goes to the city. But they had a landfill that was kind of close to the lake. And everything that they put in the landfill, eventually all the trash juices got mixed in with the dirt that was wet, and that got into the lake.
Yeah.
So the lake is poisoned with trash toxics. And then the president that we had before that died, he said to everybody, like, you could go, Chavez, you could go and live anywhere you want if you're poor. You don't gotta just choose any land and go there. So a lot of people went and started making communities around the lake, and then all their sewage will go to the lake, so that would even poison it more. So now when you open the water where I live, is brown water that even to take a bath, you might get like little ronchas and shit, like
rashes
little,
and shit.
Right? Yeah, like, it's bad. Like, you need to, like, close your eyes, not let it fall in your eyes, and all this shit. So, you know, the water situation is a horrible thing, and I just feel like if I'm here and I'm buying bottled water, I'll feel like I'm being a fucking posh motherfucker. But I'm gonna look into it, because maybe I should be drinking bottled water. By the way, bottled water here is super cheap. Like, it's a lot more expensive in the U.S. Like, here is so cheap. So I might, you know, I mean, you know, the Broskiedoodles right now, we are in income a bit short of $1 million a year.
Yeah,
so I think I could move. I think I could move to the next level. You know what I mean? If Steve Ski is doing this, then I think I could at least buy the cheapest water bottle. If he's doing Fiji, right? If he's doing Icelandic, right? I think I could do fucking 7-Eleven. Come again.
Look, I mean, I don't drink that much bottled water, but I usually do drink filtered water. And that is filtered through the refrigerator or filtered through the little fountain at the work. You know what I'm saying? Or let's just be honest, water isn't something I drink that as much as I should. I probably drink more coffee and more, I don't know, fucking
soda or
fucking seltzer,
yeah,
spiked seltzer, and so there is something to be said. If you start buying bottled water, I'll start being healthier.
All right, that's a challenge.
That's a challenge.
Well, how about this? How about let's both start being healthier?
That's fine.
And everybody that listens to us,
You too.
should follow this. So I'm gonna switch. No, this is for reals. I'm gonna switch. I'm on another level right now, and when money's coming in, you gotta make these decisions. So I'm good. At my house, right, where I live with me and my woman, we're gonna start buying bottled water. God damn it, made in the U.S. of America. Nah, not really. Made here locally, just because it makes more sense and it's probably better. But and I'm gonna see if that helps me, right? Maybe, and also I'm gonna start being a lot healthier. And maybe if I say it live and Steven hears, and then Steven also commits, then maybe we have more pressure to actually do it.
There it is. What is it? Like a positive materialization of it? Yeah, definitely. I hold you to it. And I'm going to go. I was going to leave after this podcast and go eat something very unhealthy. And now I will just only eat half of that.
Half of that. So I will only have one large pizza.
Yeah,
I was gonna have to. So no, but okay, but that's okay. That challenge doesn't mean that we cannot talk about things, because I'm about to have like barbecue ribs. But we're still committing. I mean, this is commitment. This commitment is serious, and we are gonna do it. But that doesn't mean that if you had plans, if you had a sushi boat coming on the way to your house when you did the commitment, you cannot just be like, hey, turn the boat. That boat cannot go back, baby. This captain can't turn his boat back, I'm telling you. So, but like, if you were to like do whatever you wanted, like get what you, like what would be the food? Like this podcast ends, we've been recording for hours. Fuck, I need a reward. Because I'm a fucking G. I'm drinking bottled water. I'm on some other levels. What's the food that you want delivered right there at the moment?
Delivered. Dude, sometimes as much as I love steak, I could go for some Asian food so bad. Like a good General Tso's or Tso's, however the fuck you say it. With the glaze on everything. Some egg rolls. Oh, chilies, bro.
Now, do you like the Americanized Chinese food? Okay.
I'm not gonna eat like raw fish head and shit. No. Save that shit for the no. For the other side of the mountain.
Okay. So you're going for the fucking, processed SMG fried rice with the fucking egg rolls, the lemon glaze,
spicy
chicken,
mayo,
all that.
eel sauce, everything. Just load it up. Doesn't even matter.
The wonton fried, all that shit.
Crab rangoons.
No, they don't eat that over there at all. They don't even know what that is. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Okay, so for the Broskiedoodles, what would you recommend in the water area of life? Like, so bottled water, just go safe.
Well, if you for yourself, go safe or buy yourself a filter. They're not that expensive. You just like run it right from the same filter or the same, like you split it, and then you can have like a little spout come out, and or I don't know if you guys have a service over there where they bring water to you in those little like big ass tubs that that you can just like, you know what I'm saying, like the little refrigerated little towers.
It exists.
Yeah, so that would.
Yeah, that's true. That's a cheaper way if you want to go into like the game of water for reals and buy wholesale. You know what I'm talking about. You can get them kilos and yeah. So like you can start moving that weight, and it's actually good for the environment too. Now another thing, besides the health impact that it could bring to drink tap water and not drink, the bottled waters, is there also a social impact in being a tap water bitch?
No, social impact, like drinking from the tap.
Like if people were to find out, like if people don't see you with the respective OVO or Fiji water, and then Kiko's just filling in things from the tap water, putting it in the fridge so it's cold, and sort of kind of sneak it in as
yeah, that's my only beef with tap water, right? Like it can never be that cold, and that's so like that's my beef. But nah, man, I mean, to be honest, like when I'm camping, bro, I'll drink from the fucking lake. I give no fucks.
Okay,
I'm a gangster. Like
okay. Okay, so did you keep like a good balance between like the gangster life and the savage wilderness, but also like I could have a Dasani today and enjoy it, like a Broskiedoodles high class mofo.
Yeah,
you can balance the both.
The idea is just hydration. At the end of the day, like just hydrate, bro. Just hydrate, because
the idea is just, bro, the end goal is hydration, guys. I mean, if you didn't get it, man, from the beginning of this fucking podcast, hydrate, dog. H2O, okay? The essence of life. We're trying to find this shit in Mars. I don't know what they're gonna do with it when they find it, but we need to find it. Elon Musk, fix the water here, dog.
Exactly, dude. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Elon Musk could come out with like a new Fiji, but it's like it comes from like the sewage water, and it's like that's like how he moves it.
That'd be dope.
Like he always has this crazy idea. He's like, I'm gonna make tunnels underneath California. Mm-hmm. What if he's like, all right, guys, so he has a weird accent because I don't, he's a fucking android. So he's like, look, I'm coming up with this water. We're gonna grab all the water that comes from when you take a shit, all that water goes to like treatment plants, and we extract the water from the shit, and then we add these minerals, and we make this space water. And you drink it, and it does smell a little like shit, but it's actually just because you cannot take it all out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, but it's not gonna like it's super like it's good for you, like it's good water, but it has a little smell, and that's the only counterpart. Is that something that you support?
Why do you want me to drink shit water now?
No, not you, but just like if this is a solution for certain places, would you like shit water?
The answer to your question is yes. I'm sure the African tribes and lesser fortunate areas, probably here in the US, maybe have the shit water transported to the homeless camps. I mean, again, the name of the game is hydration.
Again, guys, you know what I would do, bro? You know what I would do? Because it's also like on the topic that we're older and like fuck these little kids, the youngest, and their fucking drugs and their music festivals and their fucking electronic music, right? We go to their fucking festivals. And when they're rolling pelotas, right? They're fucking rolling on them fucking ecstasies and mollies, and they're like with their fucking jaws, they look like a fucking alien. I need water, and we sell them shit water for $10 a pop, and he's like, oh fuck it, like it's just. I mean, they're gonna be like, it smells weird, but fuck it, I need this water.
Yeah, you can call that the Stankio water.
The Stankio water. No, I mean, I'm just saying. Because there is a machine that could do that. Like, it takes water, like, even from, like, water from the sewage. Mm-hmm. But I'm always thinking, like, what if it's, like, a little smidgen left of the taste, I mean, it's, I think if you need water, you need water, I mean, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, the game is...
hydration.
H2O, motherfuckers. So, keep it real. Keep it hydrated. All right? And we're going to start being healthy, okay, guys? So if you're watching me and you want to be healthy too, let's do it. Leave a comment. Hey, I lost 5 kilos. Oh, fuck. We want to know how you did it, We're thinking that if maybe we stop stuffing large pizzas in our face, then that could help the process. So, that's all for me today. Stevski, any last words for the H2Oers?
Keep it hydrated, dog.
Keep it hydrated, boy.
Peace.